What's up, everybody? We're back here today, Sunday. I think it's a little after 5. It's daytime with Shadow Secrets Oracle, and I'm Sean. I'm pretty excited. This is like my new rock show. So I really have enjoyed setting all this up, and I'd like to talk to you today about Persephone. So I'm just going to get right into it. I've already done tons of work on clearing this space that I'm using up here. I really like using sage and bells. I've been listening to a lot of tones for a while to help me sleep and just try to realign me with something on a higher level. So this little bell, I dig quite a bit, and I feel like it does help to clear your space and focus your mind on just something else. So I have laid out some stones, and I have some shells that I collected at the beach just before we kind of started experiencing this new issue we have going on with this virus. So as some of you may know, I've been doing a meditation challenge. I had a 21-day challenge that I did where I spent 3 days on each chakra, and after that I went through a 7-day just doing, a meditation each day on each chakra, respectively. And then now, I just kind of came out of that, and I had 3 days to play with, and we have this new moon coming. So I'm doing this kind of 3-2-1 until the new moon, just all 7 chakras today. And interestingly, I've been doing the Isha Kriya meditation every day, and I'm going to try to do it for 90 days. I think I'm on day 6 or 7. But I've been doing it in the daytime, which they recommend doing it facing east. So it was nighttime. I had missed my meditation yesterday, and I was looking up, how long do you do the Isha Kriya, because I was just going to do it myself without the guided meditation. And it said, oh, don't do it at midnight because it's really going to, mess up your brain patterns and turn you into something all brand new. And I thought, ooh, perfect, because it just so happened to be right after midnight. So I'm going to go ahead and do the Isha Kriya again at midnight tonight and again tomorrow, just purposefully with my 3-2-1 deal. On the 3-2-1 days, which today's day 2, I'm going to be just kind of myself meditating more on aspects of dark goddesses that I like, and purging myself of negative emotions and past memories, things that are really holding me back. I did a reading yesterday, actually the day before, but I posted it yesterday, that some of you may have watched. It was a general clarity spread for your collective reading that was very specific about some messages about breaking free from old patterns and about setting an intention as we move forward with the new moon into the full moon that's coming up, to really be mindful of what we're creating for ourselves, what we're saying to ourselves, our internal dialogue, developing our mental abilities, and using this time as an incubation for creating, a new life for ourselves and for those around us potentially. We're in a very transformative time. And again, not belittling any struggle or any difficult circumstance, any tragedy that anyone's going through. I've been going through a lot myself, and changes that have been coming up have been very difficult for me to integrate into my life. So I've already been on this kind of meditation and really been lucky that I've been allowed the time and the space to be with my thoughts and, get this far just for myself to be able to express, where I feel like I can go spiritually and at any rate, I really find a lot of comfort from doing the readings, and it's motivating me, and it's something that I'm passionate about. So again, I'm continuing on with that. Getting back to Persephone and the relationship between the Mother of Wands and the Daughter of Wands that I had in the reading yesterday. The Daughter of Wands in our future is expanding the energy out, and we need to be mindful of where we're going with it. And, with this dark goddess sort of honoring that I've been doing, Persephone, is a goddess, a queen of the underworld. And I'm seeking a lot of balance in my own life with dealing with my relationships with male energy. And with the yin and yang, it's a balance, and it's a reciprocal giving and taking of energy that makes it work and rotate in a positive way, in the natural way that it's supposed to go. Obviously, we all have challenges, and we come up against people that have their own challenges, and then we come together and it doesn't go that way. And it can be deadly. It can be very traumatic for people when they try to come together. And that's really the meaning of life, isn't it? That we get together and that we have those connections. So we're all striving for that. So getting back to Persephone, she was walking in the field one day and sort of went off on her own because she was looking for something else, and she picked up a flower, and Hades comes up out of the ground and scoops her way into the underworld. Hades being the brother of her mother, Demeter, which, hello, man mentality, like stealing your sister's daughter because you want to hook up or whatever. But he made her the queen of the underworld, and there was a whole big ordeal about it that, Zeus came down and said, we're going to have to bring her back because Demeter was traveling, distraught and all through the land crying. And she did come across one of my favorites, Balbo. So she was, there for her, telling her dirty jokes to get her through the hard times. And we can tap into Balbo too. She's, been a female deity that I've honored for a long time. So Persephone, is coming back now with the springtime into being able to, leave the underworld. And with that being said, it's like she was looking for something else to begin with when she picked that flower, So the Daughter of Wands wants to break away from the mother, So on some level, Persephone digs being queen of the underworld. I mean, I think it sounds pretty cool, So there's some conflict there and breaking away from that dogma of the mother. She's such a powerful, powerful mother, and provides so much sustenance and provides so much for the world, like they had to give her Persephone back because the crops wouldn't grow. So that's why we have springtime. And, all that being said, we're all trying to find balance with the male and the female energies out there in our relationships and in our daily lives, in ourselves, these yin and yang influences. So what I come up against a lot is a problem of severe negativity because of consistent patterns with these male energies that I come up against in my life. And I'm not making those positive connections to make the yin yang and make the energy go the way it's supposed to. And it hurts my soul. It's really distressing to me and makes me project a really sad, negative energy out that I don't want to project. So based off of the reading yesterday, again, and moving and building off of that reading, when we're supposed to be moving forward, we're self-reflecting, we do have help from our guides and from the outside, and we can move forward, we can make our dreams come true, but we have to overcome these traumas from our past that are still like embedded in our psyche, that are preventing us from making that positive movement forward. And so I'm going to do a Persephone reading now. It's a Persephone spread that will help us just clarify those energies that we can't change and what to do about them, how we can best work with the situation that we have, and just how to integrate these challenges in the most positive way moving forward. So thanks for letting me get all that out. And we're going to use the Wild Unknown Tarot deck again today, because I'm going to be all about dark goddesses today, yesterday, and tomorrow. And just to have a clarifying card to start out with, I'm going to base off the bottom of the deck from the Moonology card off of the reading from Friday. And the new moon and the new start is coming. And the new moon is coming up on like late Tuesday night, Wednesday morning, officially, I believe. So tap into the moon energy. We're going to set really specific positive intention of what we want to manifest for the next moon phase growing into the full moon. And right now, we're going to take this Devil card that was on the bottom of our deck from yesterday, because we know we have to make conscious effort to break free from our dependencies and addictions and our fears, or we're going to keep repeating cycles that we don't want to be in. So I'm going to go ahead and shuffle these for our Persephone reading and see what this Queen of the Underworld, who is coming back to us now for springtime, has to teach us about weathering circumstances that are out of our control and maintaining composure and grace and using our challenges and obstacles to our best advantage. Okay, so the first placement is going to be, what must I acknowledge? Excuse me. What must I acknowledge that I'm unable to change? Cute. That's nice that, we get the lovers right under I made this yin yang out of shells that I found from my beach trip. Cool. Despite this situation that I'm unable to change, how can I reclaim my power? And how can I use the challenges that I face to my advantage? Wow. All right, this one should be a good one. What do I have to give up in order to get a new blessing, a new path, What do we have to release in order to receive something new? How can I make the most use of what is happening now? Interesting. And we have words of encouragement from the divine feminine, queen of the underworld, Persephone. Wow. I hear Grandma moving around downstairs, so if she yells up here, don't be surprised. In the first placement, we have the Lovers, the World, the Star, Seven of Wands, the Ace of Wands, and the Three of Pentacles. Now, I'm doing this reading for myself just as much as everyone else that might be tapping into this type of energy and dealing with personal trauma while trying to remain balanced and navigate through these difficult times that everyone is facing. And how can we best navigate our own personal life so that we can be balanced enough to be an asset to those around us right now and not just continue to perpetuate our own negativity frivolously, in times where we need to be more in tune, especially healers and people out there who can make an impact. Yesterday with the reading that I posted, it's all about realizing the power of our words and realizing how powerful we are and that our intentions, and every time we express ourselves creatively, change and can change the world. So many of us, and I am stunted and blocked and blocking myself by these feelings of not being able to connect with a partner. And so with the Lovers card in this placement of what must I acknowledge that I'm unable to change? Many of us out there are hanging out in isolation and really, really questioning, am I ever going to find someone? Is it ever going to happen? And now it's wow, I'm just seriously going to, be alone. And it's a scary, scary prospect. It's a human birthright to receive pleasure. We shouldn't be isolated. And we are, even before this quarantine, many of us living that way anyway. So, it's geese. Canadian geese are mates for life, traveling partners with an expansive sky. And the Lover's card is a welcome sight. It suggests beautiful and strong relationships, and experiencing those thrills of romance and desire, building a solid foundation together, honoring and respecting each other, and just able to take that energy and go anywhere and really make things happen. So we have to acknowledge that we can't force that to happen, and that things do unfold in divine timing. And it's it's pretty much exactly what keeps me up at night, and I wake up really angry and crying, and I still I'm so just distraught, not even over just the last issue that I had, which was pretty severe, with a guy, but it's just consistently over and over again, this lack of love, lack of understanding, lack of this companionship that I really desire. And so many of us desire that and don't feel like we're able to find it. And at some point, we have to acknowledge that we can't change that, and we can't let it continue to drain our energy and drag us down. Yeah, I was meditating on this earlier, and with Hades, in Persephone and that kind of love story, and it's like, her mom really wanted to pull her out of the underworld and bring her back up top, right? But did she want to come? Was that really even, after she got down there, even though it's her uncle, I mean, was that really a bond she wanted to break? The divine masculine can manifest in ways that we don't necessarily appreciate. And these can be even echoes of past life connections with someone who you have ties with. And it's like you keep kind of replaying this tragedy or this scenario out, even with different people, because of this echo from like a past life connection that was so strong, and you're still looking for that, but it might not happen in this life. You might not find each other, bro or sis. I'm just saying, I'm not trying to be doom and gloom, but it's like we have to accept that even if you do meet like a twin flame counterpart in this lifetime, he might not be, or she might not be at the level to give you back the energy the way that it's supposed to work, right? So like the yin yang can meet up, but it can be inverted, or it can, be backwards, and then the energy isn't going in the right way, and so it doesn't create, it destroys, or just continues into negativity. So we have to accept that we can't change this if it's not happening for us right now. We have to accept it and stop being so sad about it. And okay, so that's what number 2 is about. How can I reclaim my power despite wanting this so badly and not getting it, and not seeing a way to even figure it out? Because guy's out there, but he just doesn't even want to understand what he's supposed to be doing, or chick, or whatever. I'm not trying to aim it at anyone specific, but like I said, it's a collective reading, but it is for me, and it's making a lot of sense. So the world is how we are supposed to reclaim our power despite this. And it's the, card of completion and harmony. It's hard to understand how we're going to be complete and harmonious on our own, right? Without having this peace that we want so bad. And it's like rare to experience this energy and this energy together. And we are being asked to experience this energy by ourselves. It says here, we're usually consumed by wanting, needing, and achieving. So when this card appears, you have to contemplate for a moment the idea of being whole. Focus on the image on the card, close your eyes, and envision this radiating energy inside you. What does it feel like? Where is it located? What blocks you from feeling a sense of wholeness each and every day of your life? So she wants us to learn to feel whole by ourselves. Straight up. So how can we use these challenges that we face to our advantage? And we get the star. I got the star kind of yesterday too, just to reinforce hope. And it specifically says to stand outside and look up at the sky, and just to be renewed by the energy of the stars, and knowing that even though you can't find all the answers, there's energy out there that you can connect to, and you have to connect to the part of yourself that's hopeful, and that's the force that's going to bring light back into your life and infuse you with positivity. And when I was meditating on this earlier, is specifically the same conclusion I came up with, was that we're seeking this balance. You want to find this counterpart, but if you're still vibrating off of experiences that happened before, even like in a past life, that were negative, you're still projecting that energy. And in order to create the space to be able to connect in this positive way, you have to heal your own heart and vibrate at the right frequency. Just like I was saying, you can meet up, and if that person's not vibrating at the right frequency and you are, it's not gonna work right, and usually both people are still off. Their energies are both off, I'm not saying I'm perfect by any means, or I've been working on myself even more after this latest disappointment that I had. So, nobody's perfect, but we all need to heal our heart in order to be able to even create the space to meet someone who's going to be that for us. Now, in number 4, we're going to do what we have to release in order to receive. And we got the 7 of Wands. So it's a mind card. Again, with the reading, with the collective energy moving forward, we have to cultivate our mind and be very wary of our thoughts and what we're, focusing on and bringing into our lives by our thoughts and our deeds and our words and our actions. So this is courage and inner strength. And again, this is, what we have to release in order to get something new. A single wand stands up tall, ablaze with light, and the others fall away in the shadows. Such is the story of the 7 of Wands, and you'll not find a way or any strength or support from others, only yourself. It's time to be truly courageous and stand up for your beliefs. You may feel overwhelmed with caution and fear, but your internal fire will guide the way. So I think for some of us, we have to give up, wanting to feel supported and wanting so badly to feel like people understand. Because this is in a position of something we have to release. So we have to keep, our courage and our inner strength, of course, but realize that it's your journey to acknowledge your own self-love and patterns, where your relationships are suffering and you can't, go ahead and express your truth and your light, but you can't expect other people to understand necessarily or comfort you or be there for you in that way. Sometimes expectations are too high that we place on other people. And this, was talking about going back into ourselves and feeling whole within ourselves and not, not needing that outside validation of the lovers, that relationship. And this is, just encouraging us to stand on our own and give up that need so badly to be a part of something outside of yourself. Everything I've been reading, yesterday and today, it's just going back to like a solitary journey of self-discovery, and that's the trip that I'm on. And again, it's not for everybody. Of course, this is a time of, community as well, but a lot of people are in isolation, and I've been in like emotional isolation for a long time, I feel like, but this is like just bringing it more into the forefront of my consciousness and giving me a lot more time to really like pick it apart, but yeah, we have to give up expecting support and find our own strength. And when we do that, and we find our self-love, we vibe at this hopeful heart chakra energy that we're healed, and we're going to move forward in balance and project a light and not be just consumed by negativity of our own heart and loss and lack. We have to move forward in a place of balance. If we're going to help others around us, we have to heal ourselves. And we can't depend on others to do that for us. And once we really take charge and take responsibility for that, and learn to become whole emotionally, we can just move forward in a more purposeful way. Again, keeping in mind my reading from yesterday, moving forward in a more purposeful way to build and manifest a world that we want, because we're in such a transformative time. And this reading is about how do we purge these feelings that are holding us back from our own personal growth. And this Lover card pops up. So it's exactly what I'm dealing with. And I think many of you out there are dealing with the same thing. And we're letting these petty little relationships that obviously the other person you dealt with doesn't care, because you're not in the relationship or whatever. So it's taking up all your energy and all, you can't even sleep at night despite all the work you're doing mentally to try to get over it. So it's like, it's too consuming, and we have to let it go and figure out a way to just enjoy and flourish on our own. And enjoy life. And figure out how to do it without feeling heartbroken and projecting sadness. Because you're never gonna get what you want if you're projecting that vibe. Anyway, you have to project hope. You have to. How can I make the most use of what is happening now? And we get the Ace of Wands, which was the culmination card yesterday of outside help. And it's a really potent card of inspiration, expansion, and growth. It's this time of incubation right now, of ideas and cultivating ourselves, our mental abilities, being able to take this time now that we're in isolation, many of us, to have an excuse to stay in and really not feel guilty at all about focusing 100% on your own mental health and your own physical well-being, and doing yoga every day and stretching and feeding yourself. And hopefully you have access to all those things. I really hope you do. And I know you have access to time, many of us right now, so use your time wisely to do some of those things to self-love and get yourself into a place of balance, so that we can face these challenges in a more prepared way. And this is a really fertile time of self-discovery. And so we have to use that, to our advantage. If you have the opportunity right now to take online classes or, whatever it is, learn a language or learn an instrument, read books about your spirituality, your path, whatever it is that rings your bell, that takes you out of this monotonous day to day. Because I know, if you're listening to me, you're not on the mainstream trip. So make the most use of this time to incubate your ideas. Again, with the new moon coming up, we are setting an intention. And you need to get really specific with what you want that to be. You need to get really specific with what you want your world to look like. How do you want to live? Are you allowing that vision to be abundant? So it's a really important journey that we're on. If this message resonates with you, then you should watch my reading from yesterday if you haven't, and really realize that our words and deeds are becoming more powerful. And those of us that, are in tune to receiving these types of messages know that you have a higher purpose here. And that's needed more now than ever. And we should cultivate that. So, get the Three of Pentacles, and it's the Earth card, the number 3. It's my 3-2-1 observance, the Goddess 3. So that's a nice blessing right there. And this is her words of encouragement. And the Mountain, is obviously just telling us to stay solid. Keep your energy up. I'm going to do another reading at night because I don't really like working in the day. But Grams was asleep and it was quiet, so I thought it would be a good time. But I'm going to do a reading at night too, just because the energy is different. So maybe I'll find a different spread and then we'll do a different kind of intention on it. So the words of encouragement from Persephone are about teamwork, determination, and focus. So there is community out there for us, even though we do feel like we're super isolated and we don't have that love of our life. And we really, at this time, more than ever, wish that we had that connection. And we're working on ourselves, trying to keep the vibe high. You can call in your spirit guides and do what it is that makes you feel grounded and rooted, and, work on your root chakra and your sacral chakra. And cultivate your own inner strength. Remain hopeful. And know that there is help outside. So the book here says that the task ahead is a momentous one, usually related to your job or career. And I think, for anyone trying to channel positivity into themselves and project that out in any way is needed, and can look at that as just as important as any job or career that might be valued by our monetary system. So don't discount any of your gifts or, what you're bringing to the table compassionately or with your emotions, because just because our society is like not placing value on that. And that's just my little 2 cents. But as far as a job or career, anyhow, the task ahead is momentous, usually, related to a job, career, let's say a calling. The Three of Pentacles suggests you must focus all your efforts, discipline, strategy, and hard work more than ever is needed. If you become weary or overwhelmed, rely on those around you. This is a card of teamwork, so you may need the strength of others to conquer the mountain. So I think what this is saying for her words of encouragement is that we just need to reach out and try to express ourselves and find connections in other ways than, the one that we seek. Because this is, what we, again, need to acknowledge that we can't change. Just like I'm doing right now, trying to reach out to people this way and just share my thoughts and my inner world, in hopes that I'll make positive connection. And I'm sincere. So I hope that it's received and that people can find comfort in it and also feel empowered to do the same for themselves. And that if we all raise ourselves up to a better vibe of just being able to generate love in ourselves for ourselves, then the hope is that the universe will respond. And then we can't just remain focused on this other outside of us that we don't have. So we can't, expect other people to support us in that way. We have to find our own inner light and cultivate that and be the change, in the world that we want to see. And, again, using this time to our best advantage to incubate ideas. Set a new moon intention with me this week toward your highest good. So before I just close this out, I want you to think about your highest good and meditate on that tonight and tomorrow if you can. It's hard for me to do sometimes, to think about even what it looks like if I were to have what I really wanted. And so let yourself imagine that right now. Imagine what your most desired abundance would be. Not in another person, not anything outside of yourself, but what would it look like for you? Where would you be the most happy? What would you be the most happy doing? And how can you cultivate that in the next month realistically? And then make it real. So that's how magic works, kids. Underneath the new moon card, hard work will pay off. So thank you for hanging out with me. I really like the bottom of the deck trick, so we're just going to peek and see what that is. We got the Five of Pentacles. This deck is different, than some of the others with its description, so I really like the imagery, and I really like to read what it has to say. So this is a card of hard times, and it can be in the form of an illness, job loss, financial trouble, rejection. There will be worry, so much worry. But anxiety is counterproductive and damaging. And you have to find a way to quiet the mind during this difficult time. Rely on your meditation or visualization to find peace. Thank you, Persephone. That was beautiful. And I'm going to tap into some darker aspects of the divine feminine with my meditations, continuing this evening as time allows. And I'm going to go ahead and do a nighttime reading. I'm not sure exactly where it'll go, but I'm going to meditate on what I want to say or ask for us. So I hope everybody's staying happy and healthy as possible. Stay well. See you soon.